everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast, episode 164 here, joining you Sunday morning again. Darren Breyer here with you with Tyler McGurk. Tyler, how are we doing out there?
I'm doing good. Happy Willie Mays Day. First time in a century. 2-4-24. I'm doing well. The Warriors let me down last night, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Good to be back on the show again.
Was it longest living Hall of Famer? Or right? I think he's the oldest living Hall of Famer at the time right now. So Willie Mays Day out here in San Francisco. Only right? 2-4-24. So got that. Tyler McGurk. A lot to get into this week. How was your week out there? The rain's coming down out here in Northern California. Can we complain about weather with that?
I don't know. It's pouring and it is windy. It looks like a tree's about to go through my window. I don't know. It's going to be a wet one, that's for sure. It's better than the cold, though. I got to say that.
Warriors dropped 60, or Curry dropped 60 last night. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, we just can't. It's the same old problem, right? I'm going to get some of the highlights on here in the background. I don't know what to think at some point, right? It's just kind of same old song and dance, right?
Curry was spectacular. The defense is just – when Wiggins went out at halftime, they had no chance of guarding Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. Clay can't move his feet. He builds houses when he plays offense now, throwing up all the bricks. It's just outside of Curry, Draymond – and there were some good things this week too with the Kuminga stuff and Podziemski again. The game before this one. Who'd they play before this? I got the win. 14 assists. Memphis. 14 assists, no turnovers.
How could you forget that?
First time since 2008 with Barry Davis to get 14 assists, no turnovers. So they got some – Kuminga's playing out of his mind, like I said before. There's and Draymond, since the counseling, he's been a much better basketball player. I don't know if he still gets a little wild every once in a while.
Their offense is way better now.
Oh, it's absolutely better. It's good.
No, obviously. The defense was still an issue last night again, though. But they did. The Hawks hit some big shots.
Trae Young played out of his mind.
What do you think with Clay though? Are you seeing any signs of him getting any better, or you just feel like he's the same regression?
I think he's done. I think he's washed. He can't guard anybody. He can't move his feet. His shots are flat. He can get hot at times, but it's never for 48 minutes. It's a quarter at a time or a half at a time max. So they need to do something. They need a point of attack defender. That's what they need. Kuminga can't do it. Podziemski definitely can't do it. Curry's not going to do it. Wiggins is their best, but now he's gone out. And
Kuminga can do it against certain guys, but then there's guys like Young, like he has no chance against certain guys like that. But a little quicker. But I feel like he's not bad as your point is attack defenders. I got Curry 60 points in the background. Tyler, this is only going to last so long here. I was rewatching a couple of nights ago because me and you had talked about doing some more rewatchables. His first game back then when he was playing like with Steven Jackson, Rodi Turioff, Monte, I like those guys out there, and just. How I'm like, oh, he would have took that shot now. Oh, he would have took that shot. Like just passing up shots to now where he's just free flow, getting 60, 20. That was the problem. He was the only one that scored from the 5 minute. I think it was the 5 minute mark in the fourth quarter or something like that.
Like 4:30 left.
That's ridiculous. What are we, LeBron James against the Pistons? We can't. This is insane. And that's the issue with the Warriors here is as we're getting his 60 points, as good as he was, as special as he was hitting these shots. They couldn't close it defensively. Like Murray gets that shot at the end to tie it. Bogdanovic has a tough fade over Green in the corner there, but I don't know. That's still to me still the same problem is Curry. He doesn't have the physicality to kind of make that impact on the defensive end in that regard. But on offense, when he's dropping 60, what else can you ask from the guy? So I don't know. This is frustrating.
Yeah. On his physicality, I think he's the second player under 7 free throws to score 60 points, with Rick Barry being the other. The Kuminga fouling, I think that's what changed the game. They lost their second score.
Yeah.
The 3 slaps on the shoulder, I don't know what he was doing. It didn't look like a foul, but you can't just start hitting a guy on the shoulder repeatedly. I don't know if you saw that play.
Yeah.
I don't know. When he went out, there was no other option except for Curry launching, which isn't a bad option, obviously, because he went for 60, but it just makes the team one-dimensional. And hard to pull out games.
What'd you think about Pod saying to see him have 60 and to be super efficient and not get the calls like other superstars in the league? It's pretty impressive.
I think he's spot on.
Is that another complaint? Can we be rightful complaint? All right, it's Sunday morning. We got one.
But when you watch these games, there's reason that they have these complaints. It's pretty. I mean, I'm obviously a Warriors fan, but I try not to blame refs, and it's getting to the point where you're like, how do these guys get these calls that?
When Draymond said something last night, it was something like not all getting hit on the head's not all the same. So that makes sense. There's different contact to the head. There's different UFC contacts here you can make. All right, Variety Sports Network, Sunday morning, Fatboy FadeAway Sports, Tyler McGurk with me here, kind of going over some of the things here in the Bay Area sports-wise. Then we'll get to a little national more here at Winners and Losers. We'll touch on that as well. And then we got our flashback video of the week, Bay Area style here, as we'll kind of start something new here on the show. Call on in anytime here with it. Tyler, as we stay on the Warriors, a little positive, I guess it is Kuminga has been playing a little bit better. Kerr said he thinks he's figured it out. He's got 8 straight games now with over 20 points. He didn't get that last night. He had 16, but he said he wasn't very smart on defense, but he does seem to be a little bit more knowing his role. I do like how he sometimes, before I didn't like it as much, but at least he's being aggressive, posting up a little bit more in transition. So I can live with that type of like mistakes, like when he travels and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, like at least he's not just launching some threes unnecessarily or just really being out of position off the ball. But I don't know. I still just like the signs that it looks like we have like a legit player now.
I like that we're giving him opportunities to get run when he can make mistakes. He doesn't get taken out immediately. Yes. And I like the fact that he can get 15 shots a game getting to 5 feet within the hoop. So he's taking shots that are around the hoop and he can get there at basically will. Some of them are tough and he'll miss a couple, but like just the fact they have that option to give a guy the ball that isn't Steph Curry and can get his own shot and get close to the hoop is just huge for this team going forward.
Do you think he could be better than Jason Richardson was?
Yeah, I do. I mean, different impact. But yeah, I think he could. What was Jason Richardson's maxing? He was never even an all-star.
I'm just saying, like he did average 20 points.
Yeah, I think he could be better than Jason Richardson.
Absolutely. 2-time slam dunk champion.
He might not get to that level of the dunking, but he definitely, I think, is a better basketball player.
I don't know. I think Jay Rich, I would say Jay Rich is a better basketball player still because he could shoot the three more consistently. I thought he turned it, his post game was a little bit more efficient. I do think Kuminga has the ability on defense to be a little bit have more potential, but off the ball, he hasn't done as well. He doesn't want a national championship. Come on, Tyler.
A national championship. We're also talking about a player who played his full career.
Jay Rich or Kuminga, out there? Who would you rather have, Jay Rich or Kuminga? I guess I got to put that out there on Twitter or the X. So we got to put that. That's a good one with it. All right, so Kuminga, he's starting to play better. Do you have pods in him? They had an alley-oop the other night in Memphis. Maybe they get the little young core here. So does that put Looney? I just for fun I put Joseph not going to return next year. Like does that mean Moody's like kind of the odd man out now officially at this point?
I don't think it has to be, but it just seems the way Kerr's coaching this thing up that Moody's on the play.
You got to get Kuminga minutes.
Well, I mean, Clay's gone next year, so that opens up 35 minutes.
So you think Clay is officially gone in the play?
If they bring him back at any capacity as more than 15 minutes a game, it is a huge mistake, and this team isn't going to win. It's terrible now at defense. You can't have a defender worse than Jordan Poole on your team. And you know how I feel about Jordan Poole's defense. It's atrocious. He can't move. He's stuck in him and Kevon Looney.
Harrison Barnes posted up Clay. Harrison Barnes.
And I love Clay. Like I've mentioned many times. He's lost. He's gone.
Mike Barnes that night, right? When he was over Clay, whenever Clay was guarding him. Harrison Barnes dropping a career high 39 over Clay at the end, posting up. Okay, that'd be interesting if they did give Moody that chance to play with Kuminga. Just have two bigger guards, even though Moody's not like necessarily your.
I don't consider Kuminga necessarily a guard.
Well, no, he'd be like more your small forward. Moody'd be more your two. Curry, your point guard with Green, but you got to do something with Looney. Looney's obviously not going to be the starter. How about can Jackson be that? He had another nice dunk last night. I don't feel like he's. I like him, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. What about Cairo Santos? He has great hair, great flowing hair.
He did.
I do like what I've seen from Lester Quinones. Like
that was the little half court shot too. After Young hit it out, he hit one. Then Young hit it, and he hits the half court shot.
He's
not afraid to shoot.
No, he's not scared out there. He
plays. He probably loves Lester out there. He was the one hyping it up for a while. As soon as we got him, he's like. And my always thing with him was he's the guy with the short shorts. I remember at college he was wearing those short shorts. But now he's on the team. A few years later, Lester goes into Warriors Legends. He actually doesn't look like. I mean, he looks like he belongs.
No, he definitely does. He's probably their best perimeter defender with Wiggins, and sometimes Kuminga, depending on the matchup, guarding smaller guys.
I mean, how many times do I have to hear his last name and still get it wrong, though? That's the problem.
Yeah, I have no chance at saying it correctly right now. What are your thoughts on Podziemski going forward? Do you think he's a guy? What's like his absolute max?
Gordon Dragic.
Gordon Dragic. Max?
That'd be my max, Gordon Dragic. Jordan Max and your Cavs. Maybe out here the Warriors, we don't mind the Cavs. We don't mind them.
I hate the Cavs.
But I mean, we still have the upper hand in wins. We still that one does hurt. That one does hurt. I agree. Cavs are in the 3 seed. I have it for winners and losers. We will get into the Cavs a little bit there. So hang with us.
The Cavs in there too. Probably the same player.
Well, it might be a little different point though on this one. Then we get to the Cavs. So Jordan, hang with us on that one. Yeah, but I think Pods has like Dragic type with like. Potential. That's like the highest seed. Like I see, like
I think he could be better than that. I don't think he's
more than a 2-time All-Star or whatever Dragic was. Dragic a 1-time
All-Star. That seems like low level All-Star. I guess that means probably a pretty good potential.
What do you think he's gonna be like 4 and 5? Like I mean,
no. 2-time. I didn't know Dragic. I guess I was underestimating Dragic's All-Stars and his impact on the game because I thought he had none outside of being like an occasional scorer for the Suns.
Yes, Jordan, you guys do have the 3 seed there. I think we have the 11 in the West, so we got
we're fighting.
We're fighting in there. I think we're only like about 9 games out of the 3 seed there, the Warriors. Cleveland is playing good, man. I'll give you credit there. Your Cleveland Cavs are playing well. Mitchell, will he return now? Is that what's going to get him? You got to get to the 1 seed and win the championship, and he'll return to Cleveland, Ohio. All right, so the Warriors there, we talked about that with Kuminga. So, like I said, Looney, we'll see what happens with Moody and Joseph. So those are just some things I was thinking about with the Warriors moving forward this week. Do those guys return? Are those guys kind of with Clay? Are they the ones that's going to be out? I know they just signed Looney, but he's easily tradable too. So we'll see. The Warriors, though, Tyler, at the end of the day, doesn't matter how nice these games are, where they're scoring 133. They're still losing by 1 or they're losing at overtime. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. And so, I don't like they're tough losses, and they just have a ton of them this year. What did you say?
Them and the Hawks had the 2 most closest, like the worst records within 5-point games last, and they went head to head, and sure enough, 5-point game, and we proved to be the better at losing by a small margin than the Hawks. So that's never a good sign when you're worse than the Hawks at something.
We should have gotten the double overtime. We could have really proved our point. We could really.
I mean, I do think that the Warriors are better than the Hawks. We're coming off a back-to-back. If you watch the first half of that game, we were just.
Well, you're better than them. You need to finish the game, and that's what they can't do this season. They cannot finish the game if their life depends on it.
They were on I give them an excuse. They were on a back-to-back, and I'm not. The Warriors stink. But they have been playing better basketball this last week.
You're like Santos. You're getting the Santos excuse. He had the Jim Barnett special last night where he airballed it, went right to the guy, and we got a layup off of it. So good job, George, on that one. That was a good airball. Led to an assist. Does that count as an assist? I don't know how they do that.
It's like the Lamar Jackson completion to himself.
Exactly. Get that with it. All right. So Warriors. We'll see how they finish up this week. As we'll see, Tyler, if we can start making our way up to your 3 seed Jordans, those Jordan Max and Cavs 3, see if we can make it into the top 10. That's kind of our goal.
That's
probably not going to happen. Well, I forgot where I said we were. I said 11 officially, I believe, with it. Though they were there. They are now sitting at 12 behind the Rockets. Jazz at 10 right now. So that's where the Warriors are with it. Will the Warriors make a big trade? I don't. That was my last thing. I don't see them making a big trade. They have Mike Dunleavy Jr. And I just don't see what's out there for them to get done that would qualify as a big trade at this point. And that was my thing. Now that Siakam's off the board, and looking into next year, I just don't see it. They need a big. They need a big.
I'm with you. I don't think any trades are happening. They have no one to trade that they want to trade except for CP3. And what are you going to get back for? I guess if a team's really looking for expiring contracts, they could take on Chris Paul and Klay Thompson. But the numbers will never match up with the guy we're getting back.
Here's my season-saving trade. If there's one out there, but I don't see why the Nets would do it. Like, I just don't see it. It would be the Warriors packaging Wiggins, Moody, and Paul. I think it has to be in there, and the Nets give them Bridges and Claxton. Like, that would be like the one like season ending where I'm like, okay, the Warriors, they have fresh blood. They have a big now into him that can kind of change some shots. He's not perfect. And you have Bridges as a good defender. That would be the only one I could see that's like a 1% chance that could possibly save the season. But why would the Nets really do that either? So I don't know. That's the only one I can see that actually happen. That could happen too. Thank you, ESPN, the trade machine, for that.
I support that trade 100% if they could.
Utah, I don't think why would Utah trade with them though? They're ahead of them.
You know, Danny Ainge, he loves those draft picks.
Let's give him draft picks. We'll give you Santos, and we'll give you Teta. Sorry, Santos. You're still invited on the show. He's still invited on the show. We got to get him on there. All right. Should we go to the Niners here now, just real quick? Get the transition.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
All right. So as we get to your Niners, we talked preview before, right? When we did this show last Sunday. Now it's obviously a week later, post game. You didn't do a T&B show, so we'll do this will be like your T&B recap as well, Tyler. You can kind of cheat, but post this one as well if you want. With it, what'd you make? You obviously came on the show talking the gridiron late. What's kind of your thought with going into this game against the Chiefs? How nervous are you? This is a bye week. I don't know. What are the nerves kind of leading up right now for a Niners fan here?
I mean, it's at an all time. I mean, it's subdued now because we're a week out, but playing the Chiefs is never fun. Mahomes is a pain in the ass. Kelcie, is going to run his mouth. He's going to do his thing. And I just playing the goddamn Chiefs. Like, I don't want to play Mahomes, but there are things that can be had on this Chiefs team. Their offensive line is pathetic. The Niners, once again, I've repeatedly said this for the last 4 weeks. For the last 4 weeks, we have the most highest paid defensive line, and it hasn't showed up for the last 6 weeks. So Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, and Chase Young have to put forth first of all, they have to put forth effort. Chase Young can't be lollygagging around, letting Jahmyr Gibbs or Pacheco in this case running in for touchdown. And they have to attack the offensive line and get to Mahomes. They asked Nick Bosa what stood out about this offensive line, and he had a quick little answer. He said they hold a lot. So hopefully we're getting in the refs' heads. They're going to call a lot. They're going to get the holds going. And Bosa has to be an impact player.
Was he Phil Jackson out there? He holds a lot.
Yeah, Larry Krueger asked him, "What'd you see when you put on the film?" And he just looked at it. They hold a lot.
Funny. Melvin, if you're still here for a second, real quick, thank you for correcting me. 2001. That was the pick, not 2004. I don't know why I take that picture this morning, my college picture. Shout out to you out there. Hope everything's going well. Hope a weekend is going well out there in Memphis. Jordan, is Debo healthy, and the 49ers make it a shootout? Casey will lose. I mean, he looked healthy in the game versus the Lions.
Yeah, he seems fine. He hasn't had any setbacks in practice. I don't know if we want to shoot out with Mahomes. We got to get stops.
Well, I mean, shootout with Mahomes. And that's the part where I'm like, I kind of want to really dive deep. That's the only thing I really have for this week, because I think next week we'll get into more with this game is you as the fan, the Niner fan here. This is the Chiefs. You lost to them, 3 years ago? What is that? So
4 years ago, right before COVID.
And you had the lead. What was the lead? 19-7, was it? Is that what you guys were ahead?
23-13.
23-13, you blow it on the hill, gets deep there for the reception that kind of changes the game, and then Jimmy G, of course, as Niners fans know, misses Sanders deep on the poster out there. You got to be feeling like we can't lose 2 to Mahomes. We can't lose 2 to the fade. We can't lose 2 to that.
My dad's always like, oh yeah, we never lose in the Super Bowl or 5-0 now since I've become like a big fan. Obviously, I have 94, but I don't really count that one. 0-2 in the Super Bowl. It feels like, I don't know. Just bad things happen. We played not our full game. Kaepernick didn't play in the first. We always start slow.
You get off the bad starts.
Played better. Yeah, it's just we got to get off to a faster start. Purdy's got to get in a rhythm early. He's got to use his legs again.
Do you feel like you should be the favorites or the underdogs versus the Chiefs?
I mean, we should be the favorites because we have a more talented overall roster, but they have Andy Reid and Mahomes, so it's hard to bet against the Chiefs at this point.
Do you think you guys will have more fans than them at the game?
We should, I'd imagine. We're right there.
Have you looked for tickets? Like, you even thought about it?
Hell no chance.
I
enjoy watching football from my home more than going to a football game.
Is this kind of a nervous thing? Is the family around, or are you focused? What are we?
No, yeah, I'll be watching it. I'll just be sitting at my home watching it with Bentley and Emily and having a good old time until it's not a good old time anymore.
Your dad's not coming over to watch? No. Is it to the point where sometimes you can't watch it with certain people? Like, there is that.
No, I can watch football with my dad, but I do like being alone where I can just sort of stew in my own misery or celebrate how I accordingly.
I like that, stew in my own misery. That's a good way to describe fanhood sometimes. That's basically what it comes down to, stewing in it. You get so frustrated and nervous by the big games. And the closer we get, Tyler, I know the nerves will come, the more the storylines are really going to pick up this week. So we'll see what happens there with it. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. We get to the point there, and we just if you're hunching right now, how good do you feel about this game? Do you feel like this is you feeling like 50-50?
I feel good,
or do you feel like you should be like, I don't know, like
I feel like it's a pick 'em. But I do feel good about this game, but I felt good about the last two games going into them, and at halftime I wasn't feeling good about them anymore. So all it takes is 1 quarter to 2 quarters to change everything about how I'm feeling about the game.
Yeah.
But I trust Kyle. I trust Brock. The offense has the weapons to get it done. The defense has the players if they show up to get it done. They're loaded at all 3 levels. We'll see how they come out and perform. If they don't show up for a Super Bowl, they're not going to show up for any game. So.
We could talk over this. We could give you a little good mojo, Tyler. Give you a little good mojo right now. Okay, you ready? You got to keep it going. We'll give you far to the bench. They can suffer a little bit. We'll get to 70.
These were the good times for my dad.
Let me get that out there. This was like the first Super Bowl I remember as a kid. Where the Niners, I was like, man, they would look. I didn't even get to watch. I just remember kind of being like, what would I have been? This would have been 89. So I would have only been 5.
89, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 89. So I would have only been 5. But this was like the first Super Bowl against the Broncos. Montana Rice, his third Super Bowl for Montana, just slicing and dicing. So
I thought the Bengals
or
Super Bowl was
Super
89.
Huh?
I thought the Bengals Super Bowl was 89. The second one.
Is this 88 then?
Yeah, I think so.
88. Yeah, sure, right. Then the Bengals one. I think this was the one. I think what happened was Walsh was 88. He retired, and this was the first one that Seifert won, and this would be the last one.
Seifert didn't win 3.
No, and then he only won 2. Then because he lost in '94, or he won in '94 too.
So the Bengals was the last Super Bowl they won with Joe
Walsh.
Montana. With Joe Montana.
Then they won this. Then they won this year. The next year to go back to back, and then the next year they lost to the Giants, and that was the game that Montana got taken out.
This one was before the Bengals second one.
No, it's after.
It was.
No, I'm not lying. I promise you. I'm pretty sure this was in Louisiana, right? New Orleans. That was one. So as we get the highlights up on the screen here of the game, trying to give Tyler a little good luck there with it. As the Niners get ready to take on the Chiefs this weekend. Tyler, any last thoughts here? Getting ready for you're on a bye week, so that's where you're talking the gridiron, taking a bye week this week as well. Well-deserved one for me and Jimmy. And Jordan
it's the Super Bowl. It could be the greatest football season of my life. I won my fantasy football championship in my league that I paid too much money to be in.
Nobody
With
cares.
Brock Purdy leading me to a championship. Now I got Brock Purdy leading my favorite team to hopefully
the Purdy hate. I know you're gonna want it for that reason too. A little leg up on people for that reason. Try to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Try to
Absolutely.
All right, so we got the Niners there. We'll get more into that. Obviously, we'll probably do a preview show this week. Hopefully, we'll get into something like that for that as we head into talking the gridiron. Looking for that Thursday or Friday. Yeah, T. Any last thoughts?
What?
I thought you were gonna say something.
No.
All right, I wanted to kind of get into something else too. We had the A's and Giants make a rare trade. Did you see that this week? Probably the last one that's going to happen in Bay Area history here. Did you see that? That will probably be the last one where they trade for Stripley right there for the A's. I was looking back at the trades because like this will probably be the last one that these two franchises make as Bay Area teams, like just kind of like as Bay Area franchises, them in Oakland, them in San Francisco. And like, why would they actually do this trade? It makes the A's whatever. I don't know. Seem like they've been pissed at the Giants for years. And they make this trade. So I was looking back at some of the other ones they had. They had Rod Beck. They traded 88. Darren Lewis and 90. The A's traded to the Giants in 2004. The guy's name, the Giants trade Adam Pettyjohn to the A's as well. And then this one you guys get. And then this time the A's make another trade for Stripley. So I thought it was just kind of funny that you guys and the A's last trade just kind of wanted to just kind of make that official probably here between the two Bay Area teams before the A's head out to Utah or whatever they're headed in the future here. Do you think the Giants I'm hearing that there's a chance they could still land Snell. So that's got to give you a little hope there on the Giants.
I'll see it when I believe it. I don't know. I mean, my biggest takeaway from this is Farhan's the worst executive outside of the Warriors executives before Myers that I can remember in the whole Bay Area. Like maybe I can't think of a worse one. Maybe they had Billy Beane this whole time, so he's better.
You're frustrated by him?
He sucks. He doesn't bring anybody in. He just gets lefties and righties and mixes and matches and.
I mean, I can get why you wouldn't want Snell for all that money. I could get Bellinger for all that money, but
he's had like 2 bad years of his last 3. He just happened to win a Cy Young throwing 5 1/3.
Well, it'll be interesting with the young guys. There's a lot of pressure on your young guys. As I was kind of thinking about that for like a storyline looking ahead, like just if they don't perform this year, that it's really making him look bad because that's he put a lot of his eggs in that basket. The Giants won there with it. So, all right, I kind of wanted to bring that up with it. I was also looking into Andrew Vaughn, a little bit of Bay Area guy out here, Northern California guy. Some of the storylines behind him. It's funny now as he's getting like into starting his 4th year now in the big leagues. Like, it's kind of curious to see like some of the articles now. Like, well, I think this is one of the guys it's not necessarily his fault they're not playing well, but we don't need to believe in him. Like, this is a guy we could give up on or something like that. And, you're hearing talk like that. You're hearing him saying, I'm trying to get more agile. I'm trying to hit stronger. So I'll be curious how he does. Obviously a big part of out here live in our hometown, Santa Rosa. We always want success for him. So reading up on him a little bit here, I was kind of checking in on him. I feel like this is a big season for him. So I'll be curious how he does this year.
I mean,
I think he feels it too.
I mean, I expect him to have his best season. He's coming into like his prime year. Like when you're 23 in baseball, that's not like your prime. You're still kind of solid. You still haven't seen everything. He's 25 years old. He's about to be 26. He hit 21 jacks at 80 RBIs. I know those aren't the numbers people look at in the analytical world anymore, but I believe he's still good. If they give up on him, I'd love for the Giants to somehow bring in Andrew Vaughn. That'd be I'd be like, all right, we did something. That's the best player we've brought in
years.
Like 3 years.
Do you think it's because he was also the Golden Spikes Award winner as a sophomore, and then he had that like stuff, and then he was like right in the prime of that pandemic with his minor league career, so that probably kind of just kind of throws off a little like natural rhythm and some of that stuff. So, anyways, a little update there with it. A couple other Bay Area updates here before we move to winners and losers. Stanford women go down to USC. Stanford St. Mary's men, they beat Gonzaga. Are they starting to maybe?
Did they win yesterday?
They ended up winning 64-62. So St. Mary's pulls it out. NCAA tournament getting closer, Tyler. Getting closer. Conference tournaments getting closer. I always like the conference tournaments too. They're always kind of fun to watch. I mean, the NCAA tournament's better, but I always like. What I guess what I should say is
it brings the drama.
I like the conference tournaments for just kind of throughout the day. There's like this, like if you're home or something by chance, you could have something on. So I always like that fact. with it. Big East, Clemson. What was it? Big East. We got like we get Big West Virginia or something like that versus
Pittsburgh.
Somebody out there. Pittsburgh used to be good. I mean, they used to be real good.
With Wanamaker.
Wanamaker. Yeah, they were always good back in the day. I felt like for like 10 years. Who was the coach of that team? Gosh, it was the one.
Wasn't it the guy who went to Washington State? No.
Yeah, it was at TCU for a while. I forget his name. Okay. All right. Should we do our winners and losers? Or actually, how about before that? I showed kind of a flashback video with that. We were kind of talking Giants there for a second there with that. I wanted to kind of get one of our flashback videos on the screen. I wanted to do this week. This is just one of my favorite ones of all time. With it is Kevin Mitchell and his barehanded catch. So as I kind of want to like do a few more of these, just kind of people that watch on YouTube, they can see some of these plays that we kind of are familiar with back in the day.
Really rubbing it into our favorite podcast with the Broncos and the Cardinals.
And he makes a barehanded catch. In my entire life, I've never seen that happen.
Sonoma County Crusher.
I have a feeling you're not alone. You got to be kidding me. Well, I'll tell you something.
I just love that. I don't know why that play always sticks out to me. I think it's
because it's in that 1989.
Has been helping him with his outfield.
I think that video helps.
Willie Mays,
Battle of the Bay.
I know,
helps us for sure.
Got to be the play of the year.
I don't know what. I mean, you don't see that every day.
My goodness, the fans that push
that's your National League MVP, baby.
You don't see that happening every day.
No, you never see it.
That does not happen.
Like a grounder.
I don't know. I always find that class. That's our flashback, our Bay Area flashback video of the week. We'll start doing things like that. I got some good ones in the bank. Grant Balfour, you're down there somewhere in there with it. So we got you got there in the Bay Area bank with it. We'll have some good A's ones over the years too. Oakland A's videos along the way here, along with some old Warriors stuff. I found some Shark stuff as well. Ryan, as we're getting into Stanley Cup playoffs here with it. So Tyler, that video just kind of fun. I think that'll be a good idea going forward. So hopefully you'll have some ones to send me as well.
Yeah, I'll send you some videos.
All right, Tyler, I think it's that time. Winners and losers of the week. Kind of a chance for us to kind of broaden the scope here a little bit, kind of touch on some national things as well. You want to go winners or losers first? I'll give you the option here.
Doesn't matter to me. We'll go winners. I had the Knicks. They were on a 9-game winning streak. They followed on the Lakers last night. But this is the first time they've ever been in my winners category since we've done this podcast. I never believed in them. I still don't think they'll make the conference championships. But just they are turning into a franchise that seems to be on solid footing for the first time since maybe Jeff Van Gundy was in the building. Like, it's been forever where you're like, hey, they actually are doing things right. So I have the Knicks as winner, one of my winners of the week.
Jeremy Lin, Mike D'Antoni.
Exactly. A couple other ones.
Can I on that winner note? Because then I'll let you go. My winner too is East Coast Conference basketball. It's actually like decent again. So the Cavs, Jordan, yes, they got the 3 seed. Like, these are actually teams I'm thinking about now for the first time. On your point for winner of the week with the Knicks, like exactly. At least, like, I'm not saying they're winning a championship, but they're like, I'm looking in the West and I'm like, well, it's not like these teams couldn't beat them. So I don't know. That's for the first time in a while I've actually thought that. So go ahead, keep going with your winners.
We already talked about Podziemski and his 14-assist game, and then I have my take of drafting Kentucky guards. You always take Kentucky guards early in the first or early mid-first round. They have 3 guys this year who are all going to be guys I'd want on my team, especially number 00. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Doolittle or Dunn. He's just spectacular. He went for 30-something. And then the Tennessee guard who they were playing against, Zeigler, reminds me of Kansas State's Marcus Knoll last year. Smaller guy, but can score, and he's a great passer. I don't think he has an NBA prospect, but as a college point guard, he's as legit as they come this year.
Mike Knoll had quite the run last year for to the Elite Eight. All right, my winners, I got Grizzlies doing the right thing, retiring Marc Gasol's jersey there. He was a beast for them. He was a pain. He was a big pain, him and Zach Randolph over the years to play against there. So he makes the winners of the week as well. Orioles fans, you get your wish. The owner sells his team. He sells it. The Angelos, he sells it. Cal Ripken's part of that group as well. So he gets on there with it. Tyler, I also have Hockey Skills Challenge. McDavid McDavid wins $1 million with the revamped All-Star game with it there. So I have that for winner of the week, as well as Tyler kind of loses power there with it. I also have one video that I thought was a good video I want to get up for winner of the week as well, if I can get it on here. These guys, if I can get it for college, they're shooting a free throw. I thought maybe I got rid of it. But anyways, it had winner of the week. So those are my winners. For loser of the week here, I have Brewers. You're a charity franchise. You continue to be a charity franchise for Major League Baseball along the way. Raiders, another weird thing with Kingsbury. He withdraws after he couldn't agree to a contract. Continues to be a weird franchise along the way there with it. Levine goes down for season foot surgery. The Bulls just hit again with injuries there, so he goes down. Fox Sabonis, no all-star team as well there with it. Winner of the week, soccer, yes. Well, anybody with Eddie McBobby, he's always a stud there with it. That's a good winner of the week. I hope you're doing good out there, my guy. That's my sports as we're wrapping it up here on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. Winners and losers of the week. Appreciate it. Anybody that's tuned into episode 164. We'll be back with you next Sunday. Superbowl Sunday. We'll get Tyler's takes. His nerves probably will be right there as he lost power as it's storming out here in Northern California. The rain is coming down. For Tyler McGurk, I'm Darren Breyer. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.